Hello and welcome. Today we will be making a navbar with a drop-down menu. You can see whenever I hover over the services, our drop-down menu appears and I can select these options, and I can also click on my home button here or here to go to home and go to products or contact us or sign up. These are all different pages that I can go to by clicking. The main part will be this drop down menu and how to create it. You can see whenever I hover over it, it comes up, and when I go away, it goes away. So let's begin. For starting, what I have set up is I have some components made. This is Navbar JS. It is at the time exporting a single H1 that you can see on the screen. And Navbar CSS is empty, button CSS is empty, and button JS is empty. And in the app.js, I have some things imported from React Router DOM like browser router, route, and switch. And I have imported navbar.js from navbar component and rendered it on the screen. That's why you can see the h1 from the navbar. In app css, what I have is I have basic margin padding 0 for inherent margin and padding, and then I have ptsense imported from Google Fonts, uh, and then set it to the font family. Okay, so we can now begin. First of all, what we will do, we will start by making our navbar. So let's start. Give it a nav and class name of navbar. So this will be our you can say element that will have our navbar. And first, to start, let's add link and import link from React Router DOM. React link from React Router DOM, and we'll give this a path of home, or you can just this inside it, and give it a class name. Also give it a class name of navbar logo. Here I can write nature and this icon. So this icon is imported from React icons, and you can do that by import star as icons from React icons /fa. So you can now do this. This will grab the FA tree icon from font awesome icons in the React icons library and render it on the screen. Yes, now we can see the both the text and the tree icon. Okay, so before proceeding, I would like to add some CSS to this navbar so that we can see what is happening. Navbar height will be 10vh, color, oh sorry, background will be 1b1919, and color white, just so we can see the text. Okay, so I did not import the navbar file, sorry, CSS file. Let's import navbar.css. Okay, now we can see that we can see our navbar. I think color white will not work here. We can do it in the navbar logo. Here we can say display flex, justify content center, align items center, to bring it in the center. And then we can grab our navbar logo and you can say color white, text decoration none, and then we can just to bring them in one like in the, let's first increase the size to see it better. You can see 2 rem. So we can see that it is not at the moment like aligned at the bottom. I want them to be like aligned at the center. So for that we can say display flex, justify, not justify content, align items center. And just to uh, space them apart, I can say justify content space between and it didn't increase because the width is not increased. I can give it a width of 10 rem. Yeah, so it like spaced apart now. It is spaced apart now. We can go to our navbar .js and add other navbar items. For that, I have created this nav items file. It has two arrays. One is nav items, and the other one is the service dropdown. So in the nav items, we have home services, products, and contact us. And the service dropdown, we have the dropdown items. You can see this is these are the nav items, and this dropdown has the services dropdown items. So first, we will import nav items from nav sorry, nav items.js, and then what we can do here is we can make a UL and we can map through all the nav items and return an li. In li we will have links. So first things first, let's give it a key which will have item.id and then a class name of item.cname, and in the link we can give it the path item, sorry, not like this, item.path, and in the text we can write item.title. So these four things I can tell you where they are coming from: id, cname, path, and title. They're all in the nav items.js. First is the id, then title, then path, then home, sorry, class name. So if I save this, let's also give this a class name of nav items. So all the LIs will have the class name of nav item, and this will have the class name of nav items. So, and I forgot to write return here. Now it should show. Okay, this semicolon should not be here. Now it's okay. So we can now see all the navbar items. So before proceeding, let's just let's also add the button. So to add the button, let's go to button.js and we can import a link here. Import link from React router DOM, and inside the link we can make a button with a class name of button and put this inside the quotation marks, and its path will be what is it, the button, it is a sign up button, sorry, should be all like this, and the button I can write the sign up like this. And let's now import it in the nav bar here. Import button, sorry, come on, button from button.js, and what, but link is not defined. Where did I say but link? Okay, this is changed, sorry. Okay, button, now everything should be, where is but link is not defined. Let's refresh. Yeah, now it's okay, and we can now go to our navbar. After the UL we can add our button component, which should now see a button. Yeah, let's first add the CSS to our button. I have already chosen some colors for my button. Let's border none, background transparent, and padding to make the button a little bigger. This did I import the, no, I didn't import the CSS file. button.css. Okay, and let's now font size 1.1 rem, and let's give it a color of white. Come on, save. Yeah, and then give it a background of RGB 0 1 sorry 212. 212 is some like light blue color, and give it a border radius of 5 pixels, and now give it a hover. So for hover, I just like give the text color of the background and the background color of the text. So if button slash hover. Now yeah, you can see, and I can add two more things. Transition 0.3 as all is out, and cursor pointer. Now much better. Yeah, much better. Okay, so now let's close these two. Will not be needing these anymore. And now let's go to our nav items, not nav items. Let's go our navbar css and nav items. Make them a little better looking. We can say display flex and list style none. Okay, and we can say text align just to make sure that they are in center. Text align center. Width will be 70 VW, and I will align them justify content flex end. So this will do this. If I justify content them in center, it will bring them center, it will bring them into center, but I don't want that. So flex end, and let's add some margin to the right, margin right of 2 rem almost. Yeah, okay, now let's grab the nav item. Okay, let's give it a let's just not do anything. Let's just display flex and align items center. I will come back to why I did this later and show you what is the use of this. At the moment, let's grab the link tags and give them text decoration none, color white, and font size will be same as the button, 1.1 rem, and and margin right will be 2 rem to space them apart. And since we have the hover effect, so we will also add the hover effect, a hover, and when we hover, we will give it a background of RGB, the same color, 0, 212 and 212. Let's make sure we are recording. Yeah. So now when we hover over it, it gives us the color, and to be consistent, give this the same padding, 6 pixels and 16 pixels, so that their size is also the same as the sign up. Give it a border radius of same 5 pixels to be consistent again. Yeah, much better. I think that is pretty much it for now. For navbar, let's go ahead and create the drop down menu. For drop down menu, let's create a new dropdown.js and dropdown.css. Let's go and drop down. Let's do this. Let's now We'll do the same thing here for the drop down. We will just import our drop down items from here. Services drop down is the name, and if we go here, we can import this from nav items, and we'll also be using link here, link from React Router DOM, and we'll also import the CSS. And we'll also be using use state, so let's import that also. Okay, so let's begin. So we'll be what we'll be returning here is a ul, what ul, and we'll do the same thing. We'll loop through, so map through all of this, map through this array and get the item and return an li. This li will have a link. Okay, so here we can give it a class name of services submenu, because this will be the services submenu, and in the li I have given some key item.id, and for link we will have class name of, not the quotation marks, these brackets, item.cname, and the text will be item.title, and what was the last thing? Yeah, path to item.path. I think this is pretty much it here. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so first let's go ahead and create our, let's import it to our navbar JS so that we can see it before we go ahead and apply some CSS. Drop down from drop down and go somewhere here, or maybe are outside the nav for now, just to see what it looks like. So we can now see our ul here. So let's go ahead and apply some CSS to our this services drop menu. Let's grab the services sub menu and give it a width of 10 rem. We will position it absolute, and we will give it a list style of none, and text align just to align start. Okay, is there something wrong? Did I misspell anything? I have dropdown.css. I think there is nothing to show at the moment. Let's grab the allies. Li, and here we will say background. Now we should be able to see. We'll give the same. We'll give it the same background as the our nav items 212 212. Yes, now we can see that, and cursor will be pointer. And let's now grab the services. What did I name the submenu item? Yeah, submenu item, and display block, and width will be, if I give it 100% at this moment, yeah, and height will also be 100%, and text decoration will be none. Yeah, and color will be white. Let's give it a padding of 16 pixels across so that it is a little bigger. Okay, so now we need to put it somewhere here. Okay, so this one is, let's go to our dropdown.js. First of all, we want it to be, whenever we click it, it should go away. At this moment I click it, nothing happens, so let's do that now. So for that we will create a state. We can call it drop down and drop down and set drop down. It will be a use state false. Okay, and so whenever we click our UL on click, it should toggle the drop down. What? What just happened? Where did everything go? Too many renders documents. Okay, there's something wrong. Oh yeah, I have to put like this. Okay, so now yeah, not at this moment, and we can also, we'll also add this on click to our link. Yeah, and set this to false. Whenever we click it, it will be set to false. So in order to hide it at this moment, just the class name is changing, so we cannot see anything because nothing is happening. So let's go here and create to this drop down, and if it is drop down, it is true, then I want it to be the class name of this, and if it is false, I want it to be class name of this. So at this moment I should be able to see that, but if I click, the class name should have changed, but since this has uh, no CSS, it did nothing. Let's go to our CSS again, and this is the services sub menu. Let's add let's copy it and add here clicked. If it is clicked, we want it to go away, like display none. Okay, now if we refresh, it is here, and we click it, it is gone. We click it, it is gone. Okay, so that's, I think, pretty much it. And we also had the hover effect over these. So if we go to our here and add the hover, we can say RGB something darker, 175, 175, and I forgot to add background here. So now you can see that we have this. So now we have to move it here and add the functionality of showing it when we hover over the services. Okay, so I think the color is a little bit off. I don't think so. Let's go ahead and implement the functionality. For that we will also need to import use state here, and add the we will also const down, and we can say show drop down, or you can just set drop down just to be consistent. It will be a hook of use state be false at in the beginning, and at this time now we can remove it from here. And okay, so first of all we have to do one more thing here. Here I am returning the allies for everything for each of these element, but when I have to do something here, that is if item dot title is equal to services, then I don't want it to render this li, I want it to render this li with the drop down menu here. Now if we refresh, we can see that this is now with the services, and if we go to our dropdown.css and give this top of like 60 pixels, we'll move it a little further down, give it to 65 or 67. Okay, now it's okay. But now what we need to do, when we hover over it, it should come here, and when we leave it should go away, or when we click it, it should go away. So let's go and utilize our drop down, this one. Here what we can do is we can wrap this in JavaScript and say drop down, and what this will do is it will only show the drop down when this drop down component, when this variable drop down is true. So as you can see, at this time it is false, so it is not showing it. Now if I true, set this to true, it came back, and if I set this to false, it went away. So what we need to do now is we need to add two functions, we can say on mouse enter. What we want to do, we want to set drop down to true, and when we, and there is another function that is on mouse leave, we want to set this to false. Yeah, so now coming back to if you remember, I told you that why I did this flex and this. So what is happening at the moment is that when we hover over the services, it comes we can now see the sub menu, but as soon as I leave this, I cannot reach this before going out of this li. So if I inspect this, you can see the height of this is until here. So what we want to do is we want to increase its height to here. So by like adding display flex, what we can do now is increase its height to 10 vh, the same as the nav bar. So now you can see the height is now same as the nav bar. So if I now what nav item, okay, so where did I add the, okay, so I added these in the link. I should add these to li. Yeah, so now it should, yeah, now it should be fine. Yeah, it's now fine. We can also, I think that's pretty much what we needed to do, apart from adding our, so why is there is no hover effect now? Let's go to the submenu item. We are setting this. Why did it change? Submenu item. Let's add it this way. Remove this cursor pointer from here, and for now just, okay, so for some reason this class name, maybe I like took it, I wrote it wrong. So now we can see the hover effect. So at this time I think we are done pretty much. The other stuff is not that related to what we are doing today. So uh, I already have the images that we had in this demo, and I've also created all the pages, and these pages only have the H1s as I already told you, I think. So I have these imports. Just to save time, I already wrote them the off camera. So this is just importing all the pages, and we this is adding the route path to every page with the same name. So if I now click this, it goes to home, go to home, and services, products, you can see it goes to, yeah, everything. Perfect. Now we can go to app.css and grab all the classes that we have in the different components. H1 we give to H1. Let's I also have those written here. Let's grab everything and I will tell you why, what it is. um, it's fairly simple. Let's go here and paste it. So these are just setting a background image that we had, and what this one is doing is setting the display flex, justify content, this bringing, and the 90 VH bringing this text to the center. And then we have font size to increase the font size of the text, and then we have position center, this none to cover, just to stretch the image to the size of our page. And then we have some text shadow added to the text just to see it a little better. So you can now see the images and the text, and if I go to different pages, I can also go. So that's pretty much it for the sidebar, sorry, navbar dropdown. I learned a lot when I was making this, so I think you also learned something. Please leave your feedback on how I can make it better. Uh, and like and subscribe if you can. It will really mean a lot to me. Thank you. Goodbye. Until next time.